Stunting on them. What's up with you?
Well, the Yankees look to end their 6-game road trip on a high note and get the bats heated up to avoid a series sweep in what has been a chilly 3-game set in Detroit. Today it is the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers on a Wednesday afternoon at Comerica Park. And it's great to have you with us on the pregame on Prime. Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry with you. Final game of this 3-game series. Yankees trying to get something going offensively in what should be a really good pitching matchup between Max Fried and Jack Flaherty.
Bob, anytime a starting pitcher walks to the mound, he wants to be able to say, I'm the better man on the mound today. And for Max Fried, that feeling is even more paramount today because he's going up against Jack Flaherty, the Tigers starter, who also happens to be his old high school teammate. So you know he wants to win bragging rights. But even more than that, Bob, it's about trying to lift up the Yankees. Only 6 runs scored in their last 3 games. They haven't hit any homers in that time frame. Well, you can stabilize yourself if you get a really solid pitching performance. That's what the Yankees are looking for from Fried, and they are hoping that their offense can solve Flaherty.
Let's find out what's happening at Comerica right now. Meredith Morakovich standing by with the clubhouse report. And Meredith, it is a great storyline, Fried and Flaherty, but also a challenge for the Yankees offense, knowing they're facing another really good pitcher for the Tigers today.
No doubt about it. And you look at Tarek Skubal yesterday. He's one of the best in the league, so maybe you cross that one out. But over the last 3 games, this Yankees offense just has not been able to get rolling at all, averaging just 2 runs per game during that span. And as Jack had mentioned, 0 home runs. Now, when the offense started this year, they really got off to a hot start. Over 8 games, they blasted 25 homers. They were averaging 9 runs per game. You knew that wasn't going to continue, but they need to find a way to get a little bit more going. Earlier today, I spoke to Aaron Boone to ask him what he can do to try to spark this offense.
Punch in when we get those opportunities. So, look, still feel like most of these guys are in a good spot, and confident we can go out there and break through today. Another good pitcher going. Flaherty's off to a pretty good start, so we got to have good at bats, but feel good about today being a day we can punch through.
What are some of the challenges that Flaherty poses?
Good secondary to go with a good fastball. Really good slider that he commands. Does a good job, especially when he's ahead in the count, of making it look like a strike and getting you to chase down off. So we just got to get him in the strike zone and take advantage of the ones we get to hit. So, but he's formidable.
And, Jack, you already mentioned the connection between Jack Flaherty and Max Fried. They both attended Harvard-Westlake out in L.A. during Fried's senior year. Fried actually spoke in the clubhouse about his friendship with Jack Flaherty and said that he doesn't remember ever seeing a better high school pitcher than Flaherty. They still are very close. He was actually out watching Jack Flaherty pitch in the World Series last year. So they're still in contact, but he said, as soon as I get out there, we are opponents this afternoon. Now, back to the offense for just a minute. While the Yankees have not been able to get much going as a whole, one guy does find ways to get on base, and that is Paul Goldschmidt. He is 5 for 8 this series, really off to a nice start this season, 16 hits on the year. I asked Aaron Boone what he's thought of Goldschmidt to start the year.
Really good. I mean, just it's been quality at bats every day. And I think he's handled first really well. I mean, he's made a number of really good plays over there, really good picks, especially the last couple of days, some tough picks over there that he's made. And he's just, you know, he's a pro. He's game within the game really well, and always thinking through different situations, very situationally aware, but feel like his at-bat quality's been excellent. Just in talking with him over the winter and talking through what he went through last year, I think he was really confident going into this year with what he was kind of able to unlock in those final couple months of the season. So I think he felt like he was in a good spot going into the winter. I thought his spring was good and how he wanted it to unfold. And he's gotten off to a good start, which never hurts. You always want that. And but I feel like this is what we can expect.
And I asked Yankees hitting coach James Rowson earlier in the year about Paul Goldschmidt and his approach, and he simply said the ultimate professional hitter. That is what we have seen so far to start the season. He remains in there playing first base, batting cleanup. Also noteworthy, Cody Bellinger is back in the lineup. He will bat third. He made a joke in the clubhouse today. He is not eating wings for probably about 5 years after getting food poisoning from eating some wings the other day, but he is good to go today. He was actually, guys, walking around with a big jug of water and what looked like electrolytes, trying to get rehydrated after being sick for a little while. Also noteworthy, it's going to be Oswaldo Cabrera back in there at third base, and JC Escarra is making his second start of the season, catching Max Fried. I spoke to Escarra in the clubhouse, and he said he had caught a couple side sessions with Max Fried, but never in an actual game, so we'll see if there's any learning curve out there today. He said one thing that's a luxury with Fried, not only does he have multiple pitches, he's not afraid to throw any of them in any particular count, so a lot of weapons to go to for him this afternoon.
Sounds good. Meredith, thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you in just a bit with Michael Kay and John Flaherty. Now let's check the lineups out for both of these teams. Meredith mentioning certain guys in the Yankees lineup. Ben Rice is DHing and leading off his last 8 games, hitting at a .310 clip with 5 extra base hits. Aaron Judge in the 2-hole today. He had 2 hits yesterday, while Paul Goldschmidt had 3. And Goldschmidt, a .444 hitter at Comerica in 9 career games played there. As for the Tigers lineup, Spencer Torkelson has 8 extra base hits, 7 runs batted in, and 8 runs in 11 games so far. Torkelson, McKinstry, and Dingler each had 2 hits in yesterday's Tigers win. Now, as we head to break, we want to pay tribute to members of the Major League Baseball family who were tragically killed on Tuesday morning when the roof of a nightclub collapsed in the Dominican Republic. Nelsie Cruz, a politician and the sister of longtime Major League Baseball star Nelson Cruz, along with former players Octavio Dotel and Tony Blanco. Dotel was part of the 2006 Yankees, one of 13 clubs he pitched for from 1999 to 2013. In a statement, Commissioner Rob Manfred sent condolences to all those affected, saying additionally, the connection between baseball and the Dominican Republic runs deep, and we are thinking of all the Dominican players and fans across the game. Volpe and Jazz in there today for the final game of this 3-game series. Good to have you back on the pregame here on Prime. Let's talk about the lineup. And Meredith brought up a good point. Max Fried paired with JC Escarra today. He got that first major league hit out of the way, so now interesting to see how he plays in his second start.
He brings a lot of energy to the lineup, and I think we could have expected this, Bob, that Wells would be looking at a day off. Even after not starting today, Wells has started 10 of the Yankees' first 12 games. He's off to a slow start. Not of a lot concern to the Yankees because he got off to a slow start last year. But I think the Yankees believe a lot in Escarra as a backup. He is somebody who can go up there and provide offensively. And then last year in the minor leagues, he really impressed the Yankees on the defensive side with his metrics. So we should expect that every 4 or 5 days, you're going to see this man with his gear on, excited to be back there. And pretty excited in his last start, Bob, when you get your first major league hit.
And we talked about that swing, just how level it is right off that back leg. And that's what was kind of his calling card, right? The guy, he can always hit. And I think you've told us he was what, the batting champ in the Dominican League, right, or the winner?
Won the Dominican Winter League batting title. Yadi Molina has been a coach and a mentor for him. And I asked him in spring training, what's the one thing that Yadi told you that you've taken away the most? And he said, if you're behind the plate as a catcher, you'd better have a presence. You need to have a presence. Let your pitchers know. Let everyone in the ballpark know that you're a guy who's in charge.
We have seen Paul Goldschmidt in the leadoff spot. He's batting cleanup today. And, Jack, he, like Aaron Judge, has almost become, for me, appointment TV in terms of his at-bats, because you know you're going to see a quality at-bat every time. He's coming off 3 hits yesterday.
Yeah, you watch Goldschmidt's approach, Bob, and he keeps it pretty simple up there in terms of what he is trying to do. I spoke to Tino Martinez, the former Yankee, about Goldschmidt during the spring, and I said, how would you describe his swing? And you just saw it right there. He said he has a little bit of that inside-out approach like Jeter, that he is very willing to pull the ball or hit it up the middle when necessary, but he uses all the fields right there. So he's a guy who's going to take advantage of anything that a pitcher is trying to do to him. I think this was a savvy signing by the Yankees for so many reasons, including the fact that it was a one-year deal. They got a guy who won the MVP in 2022 on a one-year, $12.5 million deal. He's brought offense, defense, and leadership.
They brought in Bellinger in a trade with the Cubs to bolster that offense as well as they look for the long ball again. They've been without it for a couple games here, Jack. Good to have him back as he sort of, I guess, cleaned out the system with the food poisoning from chicken wings, and now he's ready to go back in the lineup.
Yeah, I wonder how many Yankees will be resistant to placing that room service order after hearing that Bellinger. And I'm not trying to whitewash every room service person out there, but the wings are what brought him down. He had the back injury. We're still waiting for the best of Bellinger. I think this was a really smart ad by the Yankees because he's someone who just looks so comfortable in what he's trying to do out there. He's a versatile player. No extra base hits in his last 6 games, but I do think that he is someone who has fit snugly in that Yankee lineup, and he is so excited to be a Yankee.
Well, time to step aside on the Yankees pregame. Today's matchup features a pair of aces that once shared the mound in high school. Max Fried and Jack Flaherty were teammates at Harvard-Westlake High School in Southern California. Now they'll go toe-to-toe for the first time in their careers. We'll talk about the former Wolverines next on Prime.
Let's go. We can go all the way for sure. No letting up. We got this under control. Fresh out of high school, straight into the pros. Let's go. We can go all the way for sure. No letting up. We got this under control. Fresh out of high school, straight into the pros. Let's go.
High school teammates in 2012. It is so high school, Jack. These two guys, think about everything they accomplished. All first-round picks, by the way. They were teammates with Lucas Giolito as well, Jack. But pitching for Harvard-Westlake and thinking, I wonder what's going to happen to us. Will we play pro ball? What'll happen? And today they square off.
It really is a cool story. It's the first time they'll ever face each other as starters. In the 2019 playoffs, they actually pitched in a game at the same time, but one of them came in relief. So I said this yesterday on our postgame, Bob. How cool a story is this? You grow up with your own dreams, but you also want to see your friends and your teammates' dreams come to fruition. So they make it to the major leagues along with Giolito, as you said. And now today they are matched up against each other in Detroit. And I know from what Fried said, listen, this is about trying to succeed for the Yankees. He'll understand that Flaherty is his friend, but once the game starts, Fried's trying to shut down the Tigers. Flaherty's trying to shut down the Yankees. And how about those gaudy numbers that they put up, Bob? Not only on the pitching side did both dominate, but Fried hit almost 450, and Flaherty hit almost 400. So they were two-way players. They were doing a lot for Harvard-Westlake.
Probably hoping the DH didn't exist. They want to bat in the major leagues. In the meantime, let's talk about where Fried is at right now. He got one of those firsts out of the way with his first win as a Yankee on the road in Pittsburgh. Jack, 5 2/3 innings, allowed just a run, got up to the 98 pitch level.
I feel as if across his first 2 starts, Bob, we still haven't seen the best of Max Fried. I think he would acknowledge that as well. As we look at this highlight package, you're going to see a lot of breaking pitches. That pickoff move is an equalizer. Andy Pettit would be proud of that. In his first 2 starts, he's actually thrown more fastballs, sinkers, and sweepers and fewer curves, changeups, cutters, and sliders. But those pitches will be very important for him going forward. The Yankees have given him a ton of offensive support, 23 runs scored while he's been on the mound. He is someone who has so many different weapons that he can go to. I don't think the cold will impact him today. We know what he is all about: soft contact, getting ground balls, and deceiving hitters.
He does have the sleeves and the low turtleneck, but I will ask this: could it impact the curveball, which is definitely his calling card?
And that's the pitch. We didn't see much of it in his debut, and we saw a little bit more of it in start number 2. I guess, as John Flaherty would say, he's going to go out to the bullpen, as he's about to do right now, and he'll see what he has there. I think Fried has pitched for so long at this level, Bob, that he understands what he needs to do to keep himself ready, have a grip on that pitch, and get it to do what he wants.
And we talked about this yesterday, too, and we didn't see it as much, but there are strikeouts in that Tigers lineup. 2 games ago, they had 10 in that game, and he is a guy who can rack up strikeouts.
Well, the difference yesterday was that Carrasco doesn't have the stuff that Fried has, and Carrasco was missing his spots. Even Aaron Boone said after the game, a lot of hard contact against Carrasco, because when you need to be so precise with your stuff because you can't overpower anyone, you get yourself in trouble if you miss a spot or put a ball in a spot where they can do damage. Fried has a different arsenal than Carrasco, so you're right, Bob. The swing and miss ability of him against them, it definitely exists.
And what about the challenge for the Yankees of facing Jack Flaherty? Again, it's a great story. They're not technically squaring off against each other, but they want to throw up zeros, and Flaherty can do that with really basically a 3-pitch mix, right?
Yeah, he's pretty much fastball, slider, changeup, and he will go out there and try and do what he can against this Yankee lineup. Fastball, slider, curve, I should say. He only throws the changeup about 5% of the time. Aaron Boone addressed this before the game. You got a guy who's going to throw mid-90s with his fastball, but then he's also working that slider and curve in there. And last year, Bob, a very high whiff percentage against Flaherty. He can get swings and misses because of the difference in velocity and movement between those pitches.
I got to take one last break on the Yankees pregame on Prime. We're going to be back with some final thoughts as we approach first pitch between the Yanks and the Tigers, so keep it right here. Great to have you back on the pregame here on Prime. Couple minutes, we'll get you out to Comerica Park for the series finale between the Yanks and Tigers. Pitching-wise, we've talked about Max Fried for the Yankees. First 2 starts, second one, he went a little deeper against Pittsburgh, got up to 98 pitches, so he's 100+, and they hope they can get some distance. Though, having said that, the bullpen sets up pretty well for them. Right,
they want Fried to be as efficient as possible and pitch as deep as possible and be effective, but you're right, Bob. Weaver and Williams haven't pitched in 2 days. Leiter Jr. hasn't pitched in 3 days. Even Tim Hill has had a day off. And we always talk about pitching or playing to the back of your baseball card. I love this about Tim Hill. 13 baseballs have been put in play against him this year. Of course, all 13 have been hit on the ground. So the Yankees would love to be in the situation where they've got a lead and Boone could exploit some of those matchups with his bullpen.
That is a thing for them. They're much more successful. You could say this about any team, really. But when they get that early lead and they pounce early, they had a chance in the first couple of games in Detroit to do that. Really didn't do that. What needs to change for the offense today?
Better at-bats when they do have a pitcher potentially on the ropes. Now, Skubal is the reigning Cy Young Award winner. You look at yesterday, and he had his way with the Yankees, except for the fact that in that first inning, Bob, they had 2 on, nobody out. It was their chance to do some damage against him. You say this every time they face a good pitcher. When you have traffic on the bases, take advantage of it. The last 3 starting pitchers who have faced the Yankees, Heaney, Mize, and Skubal, 2 earned runs in 19 innings. So I do think the Yankees need to be smart, aggressive today against Flaherty. And when they do mount any kind of offensive rally, you got to produce.
And that's, by the way, up and down the lineup. When they were winning ball games and winning big, everybody was hitting. And yesterday, just the top 3 hit. 4 through 9 did not.
Yeah, how many times do we praise the bottom third of their lineup for doing damage? Yankees need a little more of that. And, Bob, let's be honest. They need to hit a ball out of the ballpark. They win when they hit home runs. No homers in their last 3 games.
Well, that is it for us. Thank you for joining us. And coming up next on Prime, it's Michael Kay, John Flaherty with a call, Meredith Marakovich reporting. We'll have complete post-game coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app immediately after. Enjoy the ballgame.
When the Yankees signed Max Fried this offseason, the expectations were for him to be the lefty counterpunch to Garrett Cole's big right arm. But the best laid plans often go awry. Fried now stands as the de facto ace of the Yankee staff, and it's a title he looks to live up to every time he steps on the mound.
I want to compete. I'm a competitor. I'm very competitive, and it's all about winning. And I'll leave everything out there, just try to win the game.
After dropping the first 2 games here in Detroit, the Yankees need their new ace to step up and shut down the Tigers in the series finale. It's Game 3 of the Yankees and the Tigers, and it's all coming up next on Prime. It's another cold afternoon here in Detroit, but no matter, it is time for baseball. As Prime presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Detroit Tigers in the final game of a 3-game set from Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees have lost 3 in a row, the last one in Pittsburgh, the first 2 here in Detroit, so now they need their ace, Max Fried, to step up.
Yeah, Max Fried signed that big contract with the Yankees, not to be the ace because you thought Garrett Cole was going to be here, but now he has found himself in that position. When you are the ace of the staff, you have a responsibility not only to win ball games, you have a responsibility to stop some losing streaks. A big weapon for Fried is that 12-6 curveball, but he's got a big arsenal to try to get that win this afternoon.
Yankees have given him a lot of offense in his 2 starts. 2 earned runs the first one he gave up, 1 in the second one, so they're looking for a similar type outing, maybe a little bit more length. Now, one of the guys he's going to have to deal with is the Tigers' first baseman, Spencer Torkelson. A lost season for him last year, but one a renaissance so far this season.
Michael, he looks like a different hitter up at the plate. You can tell he's got some confidence. He's aggressive early in counts, and we saw that yesterday against Carrasco, going the other way, driving the baseball for a double, and then his 3rd home run of the year, a get-me-over slider that he drills into the Yankee bullpen. Again, just looks like a different player this year than last year.
First overall pick by the Tigers. Now in 2023, he had 31 homers and 94 ribbies. You see what he did last year, but he's off to a great start this year. So the Tiger first baseman doing well. So's the Yankee first baseman. Paul Goldschmidt has done his job in a big way. Meredith Morakowitz talks to Aaron Boone about that very thing next on Prime.
Welcome back to Yankees Baseball on Prime. Series finale between the Yankees and the Tigers coming your way in just a few minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakowitz. The Yankees offense as a whole has stalled a little bit over the last few games. However, Paul Goldschmidt continues to get on base. He was on base 3 times at the top of the Yankees order yesterday. He has 16 hits on the season, and his .381 average is 5th best in the American League. Earlier, I spoke to Aaron Boone about Goldschmidt's start to the season.
It's been quality at bats every day. And I think he's handled first really well. I mean, he's made a number of really good plays over there, really good picks, especially the last couple of days, some tough picks over there that he's made. And he's just, you know, he's a pro. He's game within the game really well and always thinking through different situations, very situationally aware, but feel like his at-bat quality's been excellent.
And Paul Goldschmidt remains in there at first base. There is a little different look behind the plate. Austin Wells has the afternoon off. J.C. Escarra will be catching Max Fried. Plenty more to come here on Prime. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by John Flaherty. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Let's go. We can go all the way for sure. No letting up. We got this under control. Fresh out of high school, straight into the pros. Let's go. We can go all the way for sure. No letting up. We got this under control. Fresh out of high school, straight into the pros. Let's go.
How incredibly proud must Harvard Westlake be? 2 first-round draft picks, another guy on that staff, Lucas Giolito, also a first-round draft pick. So this is the first time these 2 guys will square off as starters against each other. I'm sure it means a lot to them. They're very, very close. Some other notable alums from Harvard Westlake: Jamie Lee Curtis, Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal, John Lovitz, Elizabeth Montgomery of Bewitched, Tori Spelling, Shirley Temple, over and over.
I am so happy you said Jamie Lee Curtis first.
Of course.
Big fan.
Big fan, absolutely. So Jack Flaherty will take his warm-ups. We'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. The DH is Ben Rice leading off, Aaron Judge in right, Cody Bellinger in center, cleaning up first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Jazz Chisholm Jr. at second base, bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. Jason Dominguez in left field will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, it's J.C. Escara, and Oswaldo Cabrera will play third base. He's going to bat ninth for the Yanks.
Yeah, well, there he is, Jack Flaherty, just beginning his warm-up tosses. Pitched twice already, and he's thrown the ball well early on. A 1-0 record, 2.38 ERA. We'll check out our pitcher scanner report on Flaherty. Welcome back. You remember he started the year with the Tigers last year. He ended the year pitching Game 1 and Game 5 against the Yankees in the World Series for the Dodgers. And the knuckle curve last year was a big pitch for him. Got 43.6 whiff percentage on that pitch last year. That was first in the big leagues.
Let's take a look at the defense behind him. Riley Green is in left, Brian Kreidler in center, Zach McKinstry over in right. In the infield, you go Ibanez, Baez, Keith, and Torkelson. Third to first. The DH is Justin Henry Malloy, and Dylan Dingler make his second straight start behind the plate. And Jack Flaherty is on the mound. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, John.
It's getaway day. The Yankees have lost 3 in a row. You'd love to get a win, get on the plane, enjoy that off day tomorrow. And Paul Goldschmidt is now going to be hitting in the middle of the lineup. Cleanup today. Aaron Boone talked to Meredith about he's one of the hottest hitters in the lineups for the Yankees. Maybe some RBI opportunities today. And some high leverage guys in that bullpen for the Yankees. You're thinking if you can get them in here at the back end of the game, you feel good about your chances.
All right, so the Yankees trying to salvage this final game. Jack Flaherty, a big free agent signing for the Tigers. He is on the mound. Tigers looking for a sweep. They're in the middle of a winning streak. Yankees 3 in a row. They have lost. Rice is ready. Flaherty's ready. Let's do it in Detroit. And the first pitch is outside. We are underway. Nate Tomlinson is the home plate umpire. Mark Wegner at first. John Bacon at second. And Shane Livensberger is over at third. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Livensberger.
Well, Ben Rice, one of the Yankees who's been swinging a hot bat early on. You take a look from the side. He did go on that slider. It's fastball, slider, knuckle curve from Flaherty.
Grounded softly, third base side, but it kicks foul. Flaherty's 29 years old, 9th big league season. Now, he began last year with the Tigers, was traded to the Dodgers, and then helped his hometown team win the World Series. Then he re-signed with the Tigers in February, a 2-year, $35 million deal.
Well, you felt like when the Tigers traded him to L.A. last year, they were basically giving up on their season, but they got hot the last couple of months. Made a nice little run in the postseason.
Strike 3, Rice down looking. Nate Tomlinson is considered a neutral home plate umpire. More high strikes, fewer outside strikes on left-handed batters. And Nate's in his 6th major league season. Here's Aaron Judge, 3 for 7 in the first 2 games, hitting .341. And a strike. Grounded, foul. I asked Judge about the weather before the game today, and he said, yeah, it's cold. He said, but really no complaints whatsoever. He said, how can you complain? Both sides are doing it. He said, you can't say, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible for the Tigers, too, he said. So I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, every big league player you expect during the month of April, you're going to play in some brutal conditions, and the Yankees have done that here in Detroit and in Pittsburgh, and it's not going to get any better this weekend in New York. Weather doesn't sound like it's going to be great.
Yankees will be playing the red-hot San Francisco Giants. The 1-2. You know, the manager of the Red Sox, Alex Cora, put it very well. He said, we always complain about the weather in April, but we don't complain about the weather in October.
Mm-hmm. It's a great point. And I look up at that flag in left center field. It's not blowing out as much as it was the first 2 games of this series, a gentle breeze. And that's what really gets you when you're out on the field, when it starts kicking up. That wind chill factor probably in the 30s today.
2-2. Now yesterday, although it was cold, it didn't seem as uncomfortable because it was sunny all day. There was hardly a cloud in the sky. Today it's overcast. There's no sun to help you out at all. Just has a more bone-chilling feel today. The 2-2. Fouled away.
Well, you can talk about the Yankees offensively. They've been slowed down a little bit. A lot has to do with the pitching staff of the Detroit Tigers. Skubal yesterday looked like the Cy Young Award winner from last year. Casey Mize was on top of his game the first game of the series, and now you face the veteran Jack Flaherty.
2-2. 3-2.
This would be an interesting pitch selection here early on. Full count. Flaherty has come at Aaron Judge with a few fastballs back to back to back. Does he go in another fastball or that slider or knuckle curve?
Just got a piece on the knuckle curve.
You can see Aaron kind of just giggling a little bit. Did a good job just to foul it off on a fastball count. It's good to see Bellinger back in the lineup. Flaherty always used to be fastball slider his time in St. Louis, but developed this knuckle curve. It's given him a different look.
Judge making him work.
Fastball's about 92 to 95, but he's been locating it perfectly on the corners here in the first. So he's coming at Judge, but he's not giving him anything down the middle.
Here's the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And he gets Judge swinging on the knuckle curve. So Flaherty wins that long battle.
Yeah, you got to respect this on both sides. Flaherty came right at him. Finished them off with a quality knuckle curve down. Great at bat, great battle on both sides. Flaherty wins the first one.
Here's Cody Bellinger. Missed 3 of the last 5 games, 2 with a back problem. And yesterday, with what he thought was food poisoning, he was watching the national championship game in his hotel room and ordered wings from room service. He said they tasted great, and then about 4 in the morning they didn't taste great anymore, and he said he will not have wings for another 5 years. 0-2 on Bellinger. And the pitch. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strong first inning for Jack Flaherty. Retires the Yankees in order. All strikeouts. Tigers come to the bat. Yankees go down in order in the top of the first. Now Max Fried against this Tiger lineup. Tigers are 7-4, and they lead out their DH Justin Henry Malloy. Andy Ibanez at third, Riley Green in left. Cleaning up first baseman Spencer Torkelson. Dylan Dingler will catch. He'll bat fifth, batting sixth. Second baseman Colt Keith. Javier Baez, the shortstop, bats seventh. Batting eighth, playing center field, Ryan Kreidler. And Zach McKinstry is in right field. He's in the bat ninth.
A well-balanced lineup for the Tigers. A few lefties in there, 3 lefties against the left-hander Max Fried. It'll be his third start, 1-0, 2.61 ERA, and we're going to talk about it today. You got to be a streak stopper as we go through the scouting report for Max Fried. The Yankees have lost 3 in a row. Part of the responsibility of being a top-of-the-rotation guy is to stop the losing streaks. Looking for his second win in a row as a New York Yankee, and he loves the run support he's gotten already. 23 runs in only 10 1/3 innings.
So Fried deals. Grounded to third. Cabrera. 1 pitch, 1 out. Yankees defensively have Dominguez in left, Bellinger in center, and Judge over in right. Infield, Cabrera, Volpe, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt third to first. Ben Rice the DH. J.C. Escar behind the plate, catching Max Fried. Here's Andy Ibanez, had a big 3-run home run on Monday.
Yeah, pitchers are always scouting opposing lineups. If you're a guy like Max Fried, you've had 2 days to watch the Tigers offensively figure some things out.
Skied the other way.
And what you would figure out about Ibanez that first game, he took a changeup from Carlos Rodon deep to left field, just yanked it on the middle in part of the plate. Fried probably will try to stay away from Ibanez today.
Speaking of Rodon, John, this is a very milestone type day for him. He becomes a 10-year player in Major League Baseball, and that's significant to anybody who has ever played the game. That's a real high watermark.
It is quite an accomplishment because it means not only are you good enough to get here, you're good enough to stay. And if you're good enough to stay for 10 years, you've made a lot of adjustments along the way. Full pension comes with 10 years. But that's kind of like that badge of honor. I just wasn't around for a little bit. I was able to hang around, make some adjustments, and stick.
The 1-2. 2-2. So even if you play 20 years, you get the same pension if you play 10.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you play 10 years and 1 day, you're going to get the same pension as a guy who just plays 10. And, you know, Dave Valley does some work for us in the studio during the year, and I was working with him last year, and he threw a number at me. I'm not 100% sure about it, but it was like 750 guys have made it to 10 years of service.
In the history of baseball?
Yes.
Wow.
I was shocked at how low the number was. Like a cutter there from Max Fried. Gets a swing and a miss. And we think of Max Fried from his Atlanta Brave days, and it's always that big 12-6 curveball, but small sample size, hasn't been throwing it as much early this year. I wonder if that's due to the cold weather or just an adjustment in his mix.
1-0 on Riley Green. He's hitless in the first 2 games, 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts. Tigers have won 5 straight and 7 of their last 8. So they've won their last 5, or the first 5 here at Comerica Park. John, they have not won their first 6 home games in 114 years. You have to go back to 1911. They won their first 12 that year. And they got off to a rocky start. They opened up against the champion Dodgers, and they got swept at Chavez Ravine. But they bounced back, and they're 7-4 coming into play today. Two and two on Green.
Well, they average 5.1 runs a game. That's 6th in the big leagues, and the Yankees have done a good job holding this guy down. You hope you get a few more at bats. You hold him down, you get out of town, because he is such a good player.
Right in on the hands, and it's fouled away.
I like what I'm seeing from J.C. Escara behind the plate and Max Fried out on the mound. Austin Wells gets the afternoon off. The Yankees have an off day tomorrow, so he gets 2 in a row. But looks like the young receiver and the veteran left-hander are on the same page early on in this one.
Three and two. Still 3 and 2. Yankees have held the Tigers down in the first inning, despite losing the first 2 games, and the Tigers have 13 first inning runs, tied with the Cubs and the Padres for the most in baseball. Grounded up the middle, and that's a base hit for Green, his first of the series.
He's an all-star last year for a reason. He's a good player, a real good hitter, and he hangs in there against left-handed pitching. Base hit right up the middle, no damage done with 2 outs. And now if you're Max Fried, you go pay attention to Spencer Torkelson, who has really been impressive the first couple of games of this series.
I mean, what a difference a year makes. Hit his 3rd home run of the season yesterday. It took him 44 games to hit his 3rd last year.
Adjustments in his stance, but you know, when you watch now for 2 days, and he's been so aggressive on the first pitch, went after the first one from Fried and fouled it off. He just looks like he's got a confidence and a swagger back in his offensive game.
Got the curveball in there, 0-2. His curveball's his money pitch. First 2 games we haven't seen it that much, maybe because of the cold weather, but it's cold right now, and that was a nice curveball. One-two, hit sharply right at Chisholm. He will go to the bag, and he just beats Green there for the force and the final out. In the first, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. A foot race won by Jazz, who played 1 in Detroit. Nothing on Prime. Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers. Let's take a look at his arsenal on Statcast 3D by Google Cloud.
Well, we told you about the 4-seamer, the slider, and the knuckle curve. He will mix in an occasional changeup and a sinker, usually for the left-handed hitters. There's a velo, 92.7 on the 4-seamer.
Flaherty struck out the side in the first inning. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. One and 0. Yesterday was his 3rd 3-hit game of the year. He has 16 hits on the season, 13 of them singles. And there's a strike. Flaherty has a bulldog approach on the mound, and one of the reasons could be that he learned from Bob Gibson. When he was with the Cardinals, Bob Gibson was a special instructor. He told him his mentality should be throwing 9 innings every time, and he told him how to manage his time between starts, how to pitch, how to approach the game. There's a base hit for Goldschmidt. He keeps on keeping on. What a start to his season.
And just using the whole field, Paul Goldschmidt is, whether it's against lefties or righties, you get to 2 strikes, and Flaherty just tries to sneak a heater by him away, and Goldschmidt stays on it. Flips it into right field.
One 0 count on Chisholm, who's 0 for his last 12. He admitted he does not like playing cold. He said that's not how baseball should be played. The Yankees have had a lot of cold weather.
Well, I'm kind of giggling here because nobody likes to play in the cold. It's not a game that's conducive to cold weather in April, but you just got to find a way to battle and try to get through it.
3-0 on Chisholm. Torkelson holds Goldschmidt at first. Taking all the way, 3-1. So in that 2012 Harvard Westlake Wolverine team we talked about, Flaherty had a 6-1 record, 1.77. Fried 8-2, 2.02. And a walk for Chisholm. So first and second, nobody out. Yankees had this in the first inning yesterday against Scoobel, and they did not cash in.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of some of these opportunities early in ball games. Anthony Volpe up at the plate, and you know, I think about that high school team you're talking about, Michael. It's St. Joe's Regional in Montvale. If we faced a team that had maybe one Division I player, it was a big deal. Facing this team with first-round draft picks in the rotation, that's pretty special.
And Lucas Giolito was on that team. He went 2-0, 0.84, but after 3 starts, he had to have his UCL repaired. Volpe pops it up, and he'll make the seats 1-1.
Michael, I'm glad you brought up the St. Louis Cardinals and Bob Gibson working with Jack Flaherty, because when you watch this veteran right-hander out on the mound, it's almost a mentality, I'm going to give you what I have, my best stuff today. You're either going to get me or I'm going to get you, but it's not going to take very long. I'm going to pitch to the corners, I'm going to change speeds, and let's see what happens.
Now, the Yankees got you in Game 5 last year in the World Series, but that fateful 5th inning allowed the Dodgers to get back into the game. So he pitched against the Yankees in Game 1 and Game 5.
Yeah, threw the ball a whole lot better in Game 1 than he did in Game 5.
There was some concern, John. You know, a lot of people were interested in trading with the Tigers for Flaherty, but there was a concern about a lower back problem. The Yankees kind of backed off. Dodgers took a chance, and I think that's why he didn't get that much interest in the free agent market, having to settle for a 2-year, $35 million deal. That goes flying, rolling into left field as Volpe down on strikes.
2 years, $35 million for Flaherty, and a big reason why, able to locate the off-speed down and away. Volpe fooled with the change of speeds, loses a handle.
There's Jason Dominguez. You know, it's interesting that Flaherty was a third baseman in high school initially, and he loved playing third base. He had to be talked into pitching, and the pitching coach on that team, and we talk about the pitchers, was Ethan Katz, who's been the pitching coach for the White Sox for 5 years. I mean, they had a little major league team there.
Well, when you have a couple of first-round picks, everybody's going to say who's working with these pitchers, and you start getting into pro ball, big league pitching coach now.
1-1. 1-2. Goldschmidt at second. Chisholm is at first. Second inning, 0-0. Yankees and the Tigers. Swing and a miss on the knuckle curve. 5 strikeouts for Flaherty.
Again, just enough with the fastball that you have to respect it. You see a slider, and then finally the knuckle curve that goes more 12-6 straight down. The slider went down and in, and now some pressure on Escara trying to come up with a big 2-out hit.
Juan Carlos Escara goes by JC, takes a strike. Got his first big league hit, a double at Yankee Stadium, and got to second base. And all the years of working to get here just exploded into a big smile. 2-1.
Take a look back to Thursday, the first big league hit that you would never forget. They can't take it away from you. You get that first baseball, and you're right, all the emotion comes out. And a big spot here in a fastball count.
And the count 3-1 on Escara.
Well, obviously, Escara doesn't know Flaherty well out on the mound, but Flaherty doesn't know a whole lot about him. So see if he comes right at him with a 3-1 fastball and said, let's see what you can do with it, kid.
Yankees have not homered in 4 straight games. And there's ball 4 as Escara walks. And the bases are loaded for Oswaldo Cabrera. And a strike to Cabrera.
Cabrera only 2 at-bats against Flaherty, does have a hit.
Oh, 0-2, bases loaded. Flaherty deals. Just got a piece, fouled it back.
Well, when you've been shut out yesterday by Skubal in the bullpen for the Tigers and you've lost 3 in a row, you definitely start feeling it as a hitter. And you get a chance with runners in scoring position trying to come up with a big hit. You feel the pressure, feel a little bit of stress. Cabrera just trying to battle here with 2 strikes.
One and 2. And the pitch. Served to left field, but foul. Goldschmidt's at third, Chisholm at second, Escara at first. We're in the second inning, 0-0. Third game of this 3-game set. All scheduled night games moved to the afternoon because of extreme cold. Fly ball center field. Kreidler is there to make the play, and Flaherty works into and out of trouble.
Well, when you think of Max Fried, you think of the Atlanta Braves and you think of that big 12-6 curveball. But when we look at his arsenal from last year, 4-seam curveball. This year it's more 4-seam, sinker, curveball, and the sweeper has had a bigger presence through 2 starts. Is that because of the weather? Is that because the Yankees have seen something different with the way they want him to mix his pitches? We'll find out. Plenty of weapons to go to on each particular start.
0-1 on Dylan Dingler. He's going to be the catcher, main catcher for the Tigers, with Jake Rogers on the IL. Rogers was scratched about a half hour before the game yesterday, taking some BP in the indoor batting cage, and he just walked out and felt something in his left oblique, and they put him right on the IL. So Dingler got the start yesterday and the start today. Tomas Nido called up from Toledo to be the backup.
It looks like Dingler is going to be able to swing the bat a little bit yesterday. A couple of hits, a home run.
Strike 3. Dingler down looking.
That's the 12-6 curveball that we remember from the Atlanta Brave days. It starts off in the left-hander's batter's box and clips that down and away corner. Beautifully located. You can look at the catch by Escara too, bringing it back up to the strike zone.
Here's Keith. And a strike. Fried is an outstanding defensive pitcher. You see the gold Rawlings label. The only people that get to wear that on their gloves are the ones that have won gold gloves. You can't just put it on and fake it.
Well, you can't. You can, but you're going to get called out on it.
Yeah, Rawlings will call it out. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Tipped into the glove of Ascar. Third strikeout for Fried. 2 down.
That's also a pitch that Fried has been throwing more early on. The two-seam sinking fastball. It has just a little bit of movement on it.
Here's Javi Baez. Oh, 0-1. Baez will play shortstop against lefty starters. When there's a righty starter, Sweeney plays shortstop, and then Baez could play anywhere. And as good as Sweeney was for them last year, he was their shortstop when they went on that run. John Baez is just a great defensive shortstop. So I wonder if he can retake that job.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. I think it all goes down to how he's going to swing the bat. He's been so down offensively the last couple of years. Though he's gotten off to a good start this year, not swinging as many pitches out of the strike zone.
He's been totally cool with playing anywhere. Told A.J. Hinch as much. Loves playing the outfield. Had never played center field until a couple of days ago. Swing and a miss. So Fried strikes out the side. He has 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. The 2 high school teammates matching up. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Today's picture is of Joe Embody, who was born on opening day and already has his first Yankee hat. So cool. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post your picture to social media to reflect your love for the Yankees, and we might spotlight you in a future game. Now we go to the 3rd inning. 5 strikeouts for Flaherty, 4 strikeouts for Fried. Top of the order for the Yanks, Ben Rice. 1-0. Well, the Yankees did not hit a homer on Sunday, didn't hit a homer yesterday or Monday. Their last streak of 4 homerless games, you have to go back to September of 2020. 2-1.
Yeah, Ben Rice was looking to change that stat with that swing. A 2-0 slider he swung through, but a violent swing. The Yankees gotten the pitch count up for Flaherty.
2-2. What a difference 3 games make. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Rice strikes out for the 2nd time.
Jack Flaherty has always been such a rhythm pitcher. When he gets in a good rhythm, changes speeds, racking up the strikeouts this afternoon.
Here's Aaron Judge, struck out in a 10-pitch at bat in the 1st inning. 0-1. You know, when the Tigers could roll out Casey Mize, Tarek Skubal, and Jack Flaherty, they're going to be in a lot of games, and in the American League Central, they got a chance. Obviously, the Royals are going to be a good team.
Guardians.
Cleveland never goes away.
Well, the challenge for a Detroit Tiger team is they kind of snuck up on everybody at the end of the year last year and made their way into the playoffs. Now you got to go out there for 6 months and earn it. They rebounded after a tough opening series against the Dodgers and playing some good baseball.
Now, in that opening series, Flaherty actually received his World Series ring, got a huge ovation from the Dodger crowd and all the Tiger fans that were there as well. And the 1-2. High fly ball. Right field. McKinstry puts it away. 2 down. And here's Cody Bellinger. And a strike. You know, with the cold weather and the snow on Monday, on this date back in 1996, the Yankees had the home opener against the Royals. Snow fell the entire game. Andy Pettitte went 6 in the third. Jim Leyritz went 3 for 3. And the Yankees beat Kansas City 7-3. Also of note in that game, you know, Bob Shepard introduces the whole team on the first baseline. Newly acquired Joe Girardi and Tino Martinez were both heartily booed because they were not Mike Stanley and they were not Don Mattingly.
Yankee fans loved Mike Stanley that much.
Yes,
huh?
they really did.
I mean, obviously, the Mattingly. I didn't realize the love for Mike Stanley.
2-2. And down goes Bellinger. The strikeouts continue to ring up. We go to the bottom of the third. We go to the bottom of the third inning here in chilly Detroit. 0-0. Yankees and the Tigers. Two high school teammates hooked up in a pitcher's duel. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Tigers against Max Fried. Kreidler will lead it off.
Scar having a little trouble with his wristband.
Kreidler came up as a shortstop, but with injuries to Parker Meadows and Winsell Perez, he didn't just make the team out of spring training, he's the starting center fielder. 27 years old, fourth big league season. Ground ball, Volpe. Throw high, and Goldschmidt goes up to get it. One away. The NBA is coming to Prime with exclusive coverage of more than 60 regular season games. The Cup, play-in, playoff coverage, league pass, and more. The NBA on Prime all starts this October. Here's McKinstry. Had a home run yesterday. 963 OPS through 10 games. And he's played all over the place. He's played right, third, second, short, and left.
A.J. Hinch can play him every day because he hangs in there against lefties. 5 for 8 against left-handed pitching this year. He gets a start against the tough left-hander Max Fried.
Why do you think it is, John, that most lefty batters have a harder time against left-handed pitching than righty batters have against right-handed pitching?
I think probably a big reason why lefties throw more bigger, sweeping, breaking balls than right-handers do.
Right back to Fried, and he has a nice clean first 2 outs.
Well, they mentioned the Gold Glover getting off the mound, making it look easy, and he's out there in pitching mode today. Slow curveballs trying to get ahead in counts, hard curveballs for swing and miss, and plenty of soft contact with the sinker.
How about the fact, John, that you see more right-handers growing up?
That definitely could be it. I just think of some of the best left-handers in the game. You think of guys like David Wells, the big curveball. Andy Pettit had the sweeper and the cutter that he can get righties out, but it seems like the breaking pitches from left-handed pitching bigger and more movement down and away.
Also think it might be the reluctance of managers to give young left-handed batters a chance against lefty pitchers. You know, Paul O'Neill had won a championship with the Reds, and when he came over to the Yankees, the book was he didn't hit lefties. And Buck Showalter made sure to put him in the lineup against lefties that he thought he could hit, so he'd get confidence, and then he became an everyday player.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because catching behind Paul all those years, I felt like that was a strength of his, hitting the left center field.
Base hit on the broken bat by Malloy. 2-out single.
And Malloy better against left-handed pitching. Gets a 2-strike with fastball up and shatters his bat, but strong enough to drive it into left center field. Pride of St. Joe's Regional High School in Montvale.
And here's Andy Ibanez. And the pitch. Line drive on 1 hop. Volpe goes to second, gets the force, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, 1 man left. Well, the 2 guys from Harvard Westlake matching up in a pitcher's duel. Class of 2014, Jack Flaherty ringing up the strikeouts. Max Fried, class of 2012, keeping the Tigers off the board and getting some strikeouts of his own. They weren't just teammates, but they're pretty close friends.
Well, we talked about a lot of the famous alumni from Harvard Westlake. How about the famous alumni from your high school? You got to be the most famous.
No, not at all. Bobby Darin, the guy who invented the Moog synthesizer.
Okay.
I think he did in the shop class at Bronx Science. That's about it. Fly ball center field off the bat of Goldschmidt. Kreidler makes the play. Deep part of the ballpark out there.
But again, Goldschmidt right on time. Everything he's hitting right off the barrel of the bat.
See, my high school's engineers and lawyers and stuff like that. Line sharply, and Torkelson makes the play to retire Chisholm.
What does that mean?
It didn't have a great athletic program, is what I'm saying.
So you had an outstanding academic. I mean, St. Joe's Regional in Montvale, we have the athletics, we have the academics.
Right.
We have the best of both worlds.
Our world was pretty much academics. We had a great Frisbee team, from what I heard.
Bowling, you guys won the state championship in bowling?
No, ultimate Frisbee. It was a big deal. I did not partake. John Cryer, 2.5 men went to Bronx Science. But I'm not coming up.
An actor?
Yeah, yeah.
I think you should have been in the school play. Were you?
No. Ibanez fields the grounder by Volpe, and I'll try to find an athletic grade. Well, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 0-0. Tigers with 2 hits, Yankees with 1. Riley Green will lead off. He singled the center in the first. Now when he hits the deep left field, going back to Dominguez, and he makes the play. Dominguez looking a little more comfortable in left field.
He is, and he took a step in on this fly ball, but it was able to get back pretty easily with his athletic ability. And he talked to Aaron Boone about him out in the outfield. He said he's such a great athlete. He's going to have to get some reps, get used to the ball coming off the bat, whether it's going to slice or hook.
And there's a strike to Torkelson. Grounded to Chisholm to get the force at second in the first inning. Right now listed as 45 degrees at Comerica Park. With the wind, it feels a little bit colder.
A dangerous pitch here to one of the hottest right-handed hitters in the Tiger lineup. 2-1 count. To make it a quality pitch here from Fried.
3-1.
Went with the changeup, just dropped his arm angle a little bit, got away from him. You can see when you watch Max Fried out on the mound in between pitches, going through the scouting report in his head. What feels good? What should we go with here in a 3-1 count?
Ground ball and past the diving Cabrera into left field. Torkelson with a single.
Well, let's take a look at Max Fried and how he's going about his business this afternoon and his strikeouts. There's that big 12-6 curveball, the fastball down and away, and he can elevate a heater when he needs it. 4 strikeouts, has not walked a batter, given up the 3 hits and 3 in the third.
Here's Dingler. Foul ball. Getting texts from people, John, say, well, why don't you tell John that all the Nobel Prize winners that came from Bronx Science, says that that's not what he asked. He asked for people that played Major League Baseball.
No, I asked for famous alumni. And would you be the most famous alumni?
No, I would not.
I specifically asked.
I would not be.
You're in the Hall of Fame, though, for your high school, right?
I guess, yeah.
It's a yes or no. It's not a trick question. Pretty much yes or no.
Yes, I am.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
There he is.
Are you and yours?
Yes, I am.
Meredith, are you in the Hall of Fame of your high school?
Rockney Wall of Fame, yeah, I am.
Nice. Hall of Fame booth.
Now I got to ask Meredith, are there any other famous alumni from your high school?
Christine Taylor, I think was her name, was the actress that was married to Ben Stiller.
She still is.
Michelle Marciniak was a great women's hoops player. A couple other athletes that were there. Billy McCaffrey, Eddie McCaffrey.
Nice.
Off the top of my head.
Here's Keith. One and 0. My guy Jack Curry, help me out. Dominic Chianese, junior soprano, went to Bronx Science. Uncle June.
Fordham guys looking out for Fordham guys, huh?
One and two. Well, suffice to say, we are not the Harvard Westlake of the East Coast. Runner on first, 2 men out. Two and two.
I'll mention it. It looks like Escara and Max Fried on the same page. Good rhythm and a nice block of that curveball in the dirt with 2 strikes. Well, it looks like Max Fried is driving the bus as far as pitch selection is concerned.
Strike 3. Keith down looking. 4 shutout innings for Max Fried. We'll go to the 5th.
Jack Flaherty on top of his game this afternoon, and he's racking up the strikeouts. Fastball, knuckle curve. You can go knuckle curve down and in, down and away, down the middle. You can go with slider if you need it, down and in to Bellinger and Ben Rice. Jack Flaherty, 7 Ks, has walked a couple, only giving up the 1 hit.
That 1 hit, Paul Goldschmidt leading off the 2nd inning. He has walked a couple as well. Jason Dominguez, one of the strikeout victims, will lead off the 5th. Grounded to first, Torkelson flips to Flaherty. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Anybody ever call you Jack? Because John are sometimes called Jack.
Well, I get called Jack Curry a lot.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Why?
People think that Jack and I look alike. I get a lot of, hey, Jack, nice to see you. And I'm like,
I don't see that. I mean, you're both individually handsome, but you don't look like each other.
well, it happens out and about, you know. I do get asked if I'm related to Jack Flaherty quite a bit. People think that he's my son, and I'm sure we're related back in the old country somewhere, Michael, maybe like County Kerry, but not cousins, not related.
Oh and 2 on Escara, who walked in the 2nd inning. You know, when Max Fried pitched in the World Series for the Braves, Flaherty made a point to go to the game. And last year, when Flaherty pitched in the World Series, Max Fried made it a point to go to the game. They're pretty close. I'm sure this is for bragging rights.
They're both representing themselves well. You know, who's representing himself well, too, is Escara, who walked and is laying off some tough pitches in this at-bat.
Swing and a miss. Escara down on strike. Strikeout number 8 for Flaherty.
Well, 2-2 count, looking fastball. You get the slider down and in.
Here is Oswaldo Cabrera. He came out with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 2nd inning, but hit a fly ball to medium range center to end the threat. That's the only inning where the Yankees got a base runner.
Yeah, this is a clinic, though, by both pitchers. Flaherty drops a knuckle curve. It's a get-me-over curve. It's not the good one, but you get ahead in the count, and then he goes to work.
Another fly ball to center. Coming on is Kreidler. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. 2-out single for Cabrera. That'll bring up Rice.
First pitch, get me over curveball. Next pitch, a slider that's out of the zone, but Cabrera just scoops it into center field right off the end of his bat.
One and 0. Foul back. Two and one. Rice is struck out looking. That was in the first and swinging in the third. Three and one. So they're getting Flaherty work out of the stretch. And Judge is on deck, so Flaherty does not want to lose Rice.
Yeah, you would expect Ben Rice to get a good pitch to hit here in a fastball count with Aaron Judge lingering on deck.
Jumps on the 3-1 pitch and lofts it to left field. Green will make the play. Another 0 on the board. We're halfway through. Yankees hockey jersey night is back for 2025. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 25th, when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. First 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees hockey jersey, courtesy of DKNY. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. Max Fried and his buddy Jack Flaherty throwing zeros up on that board. Final game of this 3-game set. Bottom third of the Tiger order against the Yankee lefty, starting with Javi Baez. Fastball upstairs, 1-0. Baez struck out in the second. 6 strikeouts for Fried. There's a change. He's got so many pitches that he could throw for strikes.
Well, Michael, we talked in the beginning of this one from Fried. You signed that contract. You're a top of rotation guy. You have a responsibility not only to win games, but to stop losing streaks. He has done his part through 4 innings now into the 5th.
Big cut. Well, when the Yankees signed Fried, they envisioned, wow, what a top 3. Garrett Cole, Fried, and Carlos Rodon. But when Garrett Cole went down, all of a sudden everybody moved up a spot. And Fried's the #1 starter. Strike 3. Baez down looking.
Well, you mentioned all of the pitches that he throws. And when you get 2 strikes, I'm sure hitters are thinking, okay, it's going to be the curveball or the sweeper. Nope. That's a 4-seamer on the outer half.
Well, you see the comparison with the rest of the staff. 3 starts, 1.88. Everybody else in 9 starts, 6.04. And the Yankees are going to have to get more production out of the rest of the rotation. Clark Schmidt should be getting called up shortly off the IL. Well, that will help things out. And at some point, they'd like to get back Luis Heel as well.
Michael Clark Schmidt is going to throw in his final rehab game tomorrow. Not sure if it's going to be at Somerset or in Scranton. There's some weather in the area, so wherever it's not raining will be where he's going to throw. And Luis Heel is expected to start his throwing program within the next week. Obviously, with Heel, it's going to take some time. He's going to need to completely build up, but a good sign that it does look as though he's at that point where he can begin that throwing program.
1-2. Well, you know that Fried and Rodon are locked in. Everybody else has to perform, or they could be moved out of the rotation when the injured come back. High fly ball. Bellinger for out number 2. Game 7, a new 5-part anthology on the greatest Game 7s ever, featuring the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, the 2016 curse-breaking Cubs, 94 New York Rangers, and more. Watch now on Prime Video. 67 pitches for Fried, 2 outs into the 5th. And McKinstry takes a strike. Driven out to left field. On the run is Dominguez. It's a fair ball. And it bounces around in the corner. McKinstry rounds second. He's going to third. Dominguez finally gets the ball and fires into Volpe. It'll be a triple for McKinstry.
Well, I mentioned McKinstry hangs in there against left-handed pitching, and he just blocks this one off the other way. Dominguez does not have a play. Then he has trouble with the ball rattling around in the corner. Can't come up with it clean, trying to pick it up with the glove.
And here is Malloy. This is the Tigers' first runner in scoring position.
You got Malloy as a good matchup against left-handed pitching at a base hit in the third, but you also got to be careful with the ball in the dirt if you're Escara. Good play. Great play. Called the pitch. You got to anticipate. Mistake is going to be down in the dirt. One knee, but he tilts that chest protector perfectly, deadens the ball right on home plate.
No 1-1. 1-2. See the difference between facing lefties and righties. Runner at third, 2 outs. 1-2. 2-2. Curveball outside. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, got him. Big strikeout for Fried, stranding the runner at third. 8 strikeouts for Fried through 5. We go to the 6th. Aaron Judge going to lead off the 6th inning of a 0-0 game. This one as advertised. 2 high school teammates from Los Angeles hooked up in a classic pitcher's duel. Flaherty and Fried. It'll be Judge, Bellinger, and Goldschmidt here in the 6th inning. Both pitchers with 8 strikeouts through 5. Knuckle curve drops in for a strike. One and one.
This has been a fun matchup this afternoon. Aaron Judge struck out in the first, flew out to right field in the third. But you got to respect a veteran right-hander. He's coming right at Aaron Judge, not pitching away from contact.
High fly ball left field, but foul. Gave it a ride, but foul.
Yeah, you just worry if you're Aaron Judge. That was probably the worst knuckle curve that Flaherty has thrown this afternoon. It just kind of spun middle of the plate. Yeah, Aaron had one to hit there. It's a little too quick.
Fouls that one back.
Again, it's 93, but it's just located perfectly on the corner. We see so many pitchers with Aaron Judge pitch way off the plate. They don't want any part of the challenge. Flaherty, he's into it, coming right at him.
The 2-2. 3-2.
Back-to-back fastballs missed badly. I would not expect 3 in a row.
Goes with the fastball upstairs, so Judge works a walk. Here's Bellinger. He struck out twice against Flaherty. And a strike.
Some action in the bullpen for the Tigers. Flaherty's last time through 95 pitches. Here comes number 88. As a lineup, this is where you try to get a starting pitcher. When you get that pitch count up, maybe a little fatigue. You get a mistake here in the 6th, you can't miss it.
Another strike, 0-2. Both of these pitchers show that you could be dominant without dominating fastballs, without high octane velocity.
Michael, for 100 years, I've heard pitching coaches, well, not for 100, but for as long as this game has gone on, throw strikes, change speeds, work fast. That combination will work every time.
1-2. And Bellinger down on strikes for the 3rd time.
Well, Flaherty has found something with Bellinger. He's thrown that slider, knuckle curve down and in. 3 consecutive at-bats to get swings and misses.
Here's Goldschmidt. And a strike. Goldschmidt single to right center in the 2nd, fly ball to deep center in the 4th. Line drive, it's a base hit to left field. Cutting over his green, it's going to get by him and go to the wall. Judge is chugging to 3rd, they're going to hold him right there. And Goldschmidt with a double, Yankees 2nd and 3rd, 1 man out.
He's been a hit machine for the New York Yankees. Slider middle, pulls it to left field. He's been doing a lot of his damage the other way, but gets a pitch to drive to left field, a double, 2nd and 3rd. Yankees set up. A look at Aaron Judge, plays in front of him. Rounding 2nd. Now you pick up Luis Rojas, a 3rd base coach. Holds him at 3rd. And Flaherty's afternoon is over.
So the double by Goldschmidt knocks him out. It's time for the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Taco Bell. Hey fans, to stream live Yes Yankee games and more of your favorite New York teams, download and subscribe to the Gotham Sports app and get in now with a special limited time offer. Go to gothamsports.tv to learn more. Tyler Holton, one of the 2 left-handers in the bullpen, will come on to face Jazz Chisholm Jr. And a scoreless tie. The Tigers bring the infield in. 2nd and 3rd, 1 man out for the Yanks. And Chisholm jumps on the first pitch and fouls it back. Jazz is 0 for his last 13. He's walked today, and he lined out to first.
Holton, a guy who's gotten off to a good start this year. A lot of cutters, a lot of sinkers, and that was a first pitch sweeper to Chisholm.
1-1. Judge at 3rd, Goldschmidt's at 2nd. Strike. 1-2. Anthony Volpe on deck. Strong outing for Flaherty. Right back to the pitcher, and they get Judge in a rundown. They'll tag him out. Holton coming off the mound toward 3rd, fielded the ball. Judge was coming home, ran right at him.
Well, Jazz gets 2 strikes. He's just trying to put something in play right back to Holton, and then he executes this perfectly, creates an angle, gets Aaron Judge running back towards third base, and then applies the tag.
So now first and second with 2 outs, and here's Volpe. And a strike. Anthony's 0 for 2, 0 for 9 in this series. And quickly down on the count, 0-2.
You can see how Holton is effective on lefties and righties. He cuts the ball in on the hands. He can sink it down and away. He has enough off speed. It is a strike thrower out of that Tiger bullpen.
Volpe fouls it back. First and second, 2 outs in the 6th. Nothing. Just a bit high, 1-2. Yankees have lost 3 in a row, trying to snap this losing streak before they come home. Swing and a miss. Volpe down on strikes. So the Yankees waste an opportunity. No runs a hit. 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Nothing on Prime. Well, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam, and we had it on those 2 Harvard Westlake kids.
Yeah, we wondered how this matchup would play out. Well, Jack Flaherty has been on top of his game. Max Fried on top of his game, and they've both been doing it with the swing and miss stuff. Flaherty with the knuckle curve down and in. Max Fried with a sweeper to Ibanez. Both starting pitchers on top of their game.
And Ibanez will lead off. And he swings at the first pitch and lofts it to center field. Bellinger coming on, still coming on. And he'll make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. When your pitch count is climbing, you love that at bat. So Flaherty lasted 1 out into the 6th. Fried is 1 out into the 6th and dealing to Riley Green. One of the cool things when the Yankees and the Tigers meet, John, the Tigers organization started in 1901. And the Yankees started in 1903. And for most of those years, with the greats that have played for both of these teams, these are the uniforms you saw out on the field. There's just not that much changed.
You love the tradition. You love the old school. You also love looking out in left center field and right center field, seeing some of the retired numbers and the names. Max Fried picks up another strikeout.
Number 9. (1901). Now, 1901, the team that became the Yankees were the Baltimore Orioles. So they played 2 years, then they kind of went out of business. And that slot, that team, became the New York American League team. But they're not connected to the Orioles. Those 2 years are not considered part of the Yankee history. So the Yankees started in 1903, the Tigers 2 years before. Grounded to third, and a nice efficient inning from Max Fried. Yankees need a big start. He's giving them a big start. Well, as we go to the 7th, let's check out Name That Yankee. The clues: 245, 153 home runs, 1,041 hits, 3 All-Star appearances. Goes with the Yankees from 61 to 69, and then the Tigers in 69. Jason Dominguez is going to lead off against Tyler Holton, who came on to get out of a jam in the 6th inning on in relief of Jack Flaherty. And a strike. Oh, 2 on Jason. Jason is 0 for his last 12 with a strikeout and a ground ball to first. Will Vest, hard-throwing right-hander, up for the Tigers. Just got a piece, stay alive. Grounded foul. So you would assume, John, that, during the winter, Fried gets bragging rights over Flaherty, right?
Right now?
Yeah, he lasted longer.
I mean, we're nitpicking a little bit. I think they could both probably shake each other's hands, say nice job. We'll see how this plays out.
I would agree, but if you're looking for the tiebreaker,
length of outing. I mean, wow.
Well, they both threw up zeros.
They both represented themselves very, very well.
Very well.
That might be the best I've seen Flaherty throw the ball, as far as control, movement, strikeout, swing and miss stuff. And Max Fried, we're getting to know him as a Yankee. Well, he stepped it up today when the Yankees needed a big performance.
At this point, it's the best of his 3 starts.
Yes, absolutely.
2-2. Still 2-2.
This one has the feeling, obviously, 6 shutout innings here in the 7th now. Is it one swing of the bat that's going to be the difference? Is it going to be manufacturing a run, handing it over to the bullpens?
Swing and a miss. Holton wins that battle.
It's just a different look from a left-hander. He comes at you with the fastball to finish it, but it was cutters, it was sinkers, it was change-ups that set up that swing and a miss 4-seam fastball.
Escara to left field. Green is there. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Oswaldo Cabrera. 1 for 2, hitting .280 on the season. Single to center in the 5th inning against Flaherty. In his first at bat in the 2nd, a fly ball to center with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Fouled away. The Yankees are a team built on home runs, and they have not homered in 3 games and 6 2/3 innings. And when a pitcher or a pitching staff could keep them in the ballpark, you got a chance. And before this little streak developed, they had 25 home runs that they had bashed. 1-2 on Cabrera. Line drive, it's a base hit. Hitting from his perceived weaker side. A hard single by Cabrera.
Take another look at the pitch. Inside with a little cut movement, but Cabrera just able to beat him to the spot.
And that one gets away, but not far enough for Cabrera to advance. You know, John, you look at this team and you see the way the Pirates and the Tigers have played them. They keep bringing in lefties out of the bullpen. And when you look at the Yankee bench right now, their two best hitters on the bench are left-handed, Wells and Grisham. And the two righties, it's Peraza and Reyes. So it leaves Boone with very little movement.
Yeah, it's been a common theme the beginning of this season. Every left-handed reliever teams can employ against the Yankees, they've done it.
High drive, right field. McKinstry back, looking up, and that ball is gone. They're saying it's a double. No, it is a home run. A two-run shot for Ben Rice, and the Yankees lead 2-0. Oh, did they need that?
Well, you can see a little bit of emotion from Ben Rice. You're right, this Yankee team, this Yankee lineup. Mentioned it, would it be one swing of the bat that might be the difference, or manufacturing a run? Well, Ben Rice put a charge into this one. Left on left, gets underneath it and drives it to right center field.
That breaks the home run slumber. 26th home run of the year for the Yanks. Third home run for Rice.
There's the sound. You knew he hit it well. Would it get over that yellow stripe, the right center field wall? It does. And two on the board for the Bombers.
Ground ball up the middle and off the glove of a diving Baez. And that's a base hit for Judge.
Look from the side, the open stance closes up and just hammers this to right center.
Fourth hit of the series for Judge. Here's Bellinger, struck out 3 times against Flaherty. Down 1-1. Broken bat pop up on the left side. Ibanez makes the play in foul territory for the final out. But the Yankees get 2 runs on the Ben Rice home run. Time for the stretch. Yankees up 2-0. Now time for the 7th inning recap, brought to you by Inspire. 2-6-0 for the Yanks, 0-4-0 for the Tigers. Max Fried has been great for the Yanks. 9 strikeouts, no walks, 6 innings. Ben Rice, the 2-run home run. Flaherty 5 1/3 with 9 strikeouts. McKinstry 1 for 2 with a triple. Fried still out there, and Dingler with a strike. Bellinger moves to left field. Grisham takes over in center. So Dominguez's day is over.
We also talked about our keys to the game early on, that the Yankees have a rested back end of their bullpen. You have Leiter Jr., Weaver, Williams. Combine that with what Max Fried has done. Aaron Boone has plenty of options coming down the stretch here.
And there's Weaver up. Hit sharply and past Cabrera and down the left field line. Dingler will go to second. Bellinger cuts the ball off, gets it in. It's a leadoff double for Dingler.
Well, a hot shot right at Cabrera, just out of his reach. Just tries to knock it down, but Dingler hits it too hard. Gets past Cabrera, be a leadoff double. Doesn't look like the Tigers are going to go quietly.
Here is Colt Keith. And the pitch is high, 1-0. 84 pitches for Fried. Keith has struck out twice against the Yankee lefty. Yankees up 2-0 on the Ben Rice home run. One and one.
Nine strikeouts, 17 first pitch strikes, only a couple of 3-ball counts.
Fly ball, left center, positioned perfectly. Bellinger tagging is Dingler, but he just draws the throw. One away. One down, runner at second. Here's Baez. And a strike.
95 with the sinking fastball, so plenty of velocity from Fried. One out in the 7th inning. Aaron Boone, the manager, looking on. I'm sure it's batter by batter, but he's letting his ace go.
0-2 on Baez. Baez struck out twice against Fried. Two and two.
Tried to go with the back-to-back curveballs. He loved when you get this look at Fried here. You just see the thoughts going through his mind. Okay, I just threw 3 curveballs in a row. What does the scouting report say? What do I want to go to? All right, let's do it.
Swing and a miss, got him. Went to the changeup. 10th strikeout for Fried.
Curveball, 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 and then he pulls the string with a changeup to get the swing and a miss. 6th career 10-plus strikeout game. But you just watch the way the mind is working. These are the high-stress pitches here in the 7th inning.
Here is Kreidler. Dials it up to 95.
This is where he's emptying the tank now. He can smell the finish line. Pitch count at 92. Here comes number 93. And if you have a little extra with your fastball, you might as well let it fly.
He's got a little extra. 0-2.
This is where you have a tough decision if you're behind the plate. A scar, back-to-back fastballs, mid-90s, right by the right-handed hitter. But the curveball has been such a good pitch. Do you try to bounce it? You just go another fastball elevated. I'd stay with number 1.
And that's what he did. 96. That's his fastest pitch of the game.
Big time outing from Fried. Finish it off.
just missed. Fried thought he had it. He's just dealing heat right now on this cold Wednesday here in Detroit. What does he do at 2-2? 2 outs, runner at second. Yankees lead 2-0. Did he go? No, he did not. One with the curveball.
You cannot throw 2 better pitches back to back. The fastball down, just missed. The backdoor curveball down, just missed. See, Fried wanted that one. Say if you throw it 2-2, you might as well throw it 3-2.
Chases Dingler back. And here's the payoff from Max Fried. Swing and a miss, got him. 11 strikeouts, no walks, no runs. A brilliant 7 innings by Max Fried. Yankees lead 2-0. You want to see a big boy performance? This is a big boy performance.
11 strikeouts, and we're going to take a look at all of them. You're going to see curveballs. You're going to see slurves. You're going to see the power heater. You're going to see it all from Max Fried. And what the Yankees have seen this afternoon is an ace of a staff stepping up when they needed it most. There's that curveball. Comes a changeup, and then a little cutter down middle, maybe a sinker for 11 punch-outs. Aaron Boone loves it.
We go to the 8th inning. It is 2-0. You know, it's sometimes a trite phrase, John, that, you know, whenever someone's new to a team, well, that's their Yankee performance.
Yeah.
That's their Yankee coming of age. He became a Yankee today.
Yep, there's always been a saying, even when you're playing on the team, welcome, you just became a Yankee today. That was as big a performance as you could produce when the Yankees needed it most. Now you got to go out and finish this thing off. Did not walk a batter, struck out 11, used all of his pitches, and totally dominated.
Will Vest is the new pitcher for the Tigers, and he goes 1-2 on Goldschmidt. And we said this at the open of the show here on Prime. You're the ace of the staff. Your job is to step up and stop this losing streak and end the road trip with a big performance, and he did just that. He's got to feel pretty good about the way he pitched. Lined right at Torkelson, and Goldschmidt retired. Now, by no stretch can you sit back and go, we got this. Tigers don't stop. They are relentless, and the Yankee bullpen has to step up now and complete this for Max Fried. Couple more runs wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, make things a little bit easier. You would assume it would be Weaver and Williams to finish this out the last 6, but we'll see the matchups that Aaron Boone likes.
(2-0) on the check swing. Chisholm 0 for 10 in the series. 0 for his last 14. So looking to snap out of it, count 2-1. Popped up on the left side, out of play. So this only the 4th game for Max Fried in his career where he had 11 strikeouts or more. Tied for the 2nd most in his career, the most ever. Last year at Boston, he had 13. Strike three. Chisholm down looking.
Slider down and in. Dingler brings it back to the middle of the plate. And the struggles continue for Jazz.
Will Vest, a workhorse for the Tigers last year. 69 appearances at a 2.82 ERA. Allowed only 3 home runs in 70 and a third innings last year. Count 3-0 on Volpe. Anthony is 0 for 3. He's 0 for 10 in this series. And he works a walk with 2 outs. For the win, NWSL takes you inside the high-stakes drama of the 2024 National Women's Soccer League playoffs and championship. Exclusive behind-the-scenes moments of soccer icon Alex Morgan and rising star Trinity Rodman. Watch now only on Prime.
Pitching coach Chris Fetter out to the mound to have a talk probably about Jazz Chisholm, and I wouldn't be surprised mentioning to Vest that Anthony Volpe has some speed. Will try to steal a bag. Has not stolen one this year, but pretty good spot here, 2 down. Take a chance.
So here's Grisham, his first at bat. Grisham has been hot, didn't start today, so he replaced Dominguez for defensive purposes and now comes up here in the 8th. Dominguez was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in this slot. Volpe leads off first, held by Torkelson. Baez will take it to second, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. Time for the answer to Name That Yankee. Those are the clues, and I believe the answer is Tom Tresh. I did not realize that he finished with the Tigers. The old auxiliary scoreboard. Tom Tresh. 9 big league seasons, Rookie of the Year in '62, World Champion that year, 3-time All-Star in 1965, Gold Glove winner, and he was born right here in the Motor City. So Luke Weaver takes over. That's what he's done in 3 games.
Couple of scoreless innings Sunday in Pittsburgh for Luke Weaver. First time the Tigers getting a look at him in this series.
Yankees can use everybody today. Tomorrow is an off day before they begin their homestand with 3 games against the San Francisco Giants. There's that good change. You talk to people, they say he's pitched okay, but he has to get back to the velocity level that he had toward the end of last year. Fly ball left field. Bellinger But there doesn't seem to be concern, John, because that's the way he started last season as well.
Yeah, and I think this time of year, with the weather being a factor, I mean, it's pretty common for every pitcher maybe to be down a few ticks. I look at Carlos Rodon, the same thing, so I don't think that there's much concern there. It should get better as the year moves on.
And Michael, you had mentioned that 2-inning performance in Pittsburgh. I spoke with Luke Weaver after that, and he said that's the first time he kind of felt like himself on the mound so far this year. After that one, Aaron Boone said that he thought that that was the best that he had thrown so far this season, and even throughout the spring.
Malloy rips one past Cabrera. A one-out single here in the 8th.
Oh, a couple of hits now from Malloy. He gets on top of a high heater. Watch from the side, gets the hands on top and just smokes it into left field.
I think Cabrera thought he had that. Just took off. Well, with Ibanez due up, they're going to send up Kerry Carpenter.
Take another look at the hot shot. Cabrera going to his left.
Oh, yeah. Carpenter swings at the first pitch and lofts it to right center. Grisham is there to make the play. And Malloy just bluffs. And here's a dangerous Riley Green. 3 home runs. He's 1 for 3. .94 miles an hour upstairs. Two 2-0. Torkelson's on deck. Runner on first, 2 men out. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 2-0 Yankees on the Ben Rice 2-run home run in the 7th inning. Three 3-0 on Green.
Went with a changeup and a fastball count and missed. And if you're Weaver and Escara behind the plate, you have to assume that Green has the green light here. 3-0.
And he takes the fastball. 3-1. Changeup, swings right through at 3-2, so that releases Malloy at first. 3-2, 2 outs. Swing and a miss, got him on a change. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Let's go to the 9th. Well, Friday night on Yes, the Yankees and San Francisco Giants kick off a 3-game set in the Bronx. Pre-game coverage starts with Audi batting practice at 6. Then first pitch is scheduled for shortly after 7 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And remember, you can catch today's postgame on Yes after the final out. Kerry Carpenter takes over at right field, and McKinstry is now the third baseman. And Brevia is the new pitcher.
Brebbia last year was with the White Sox, then joined the Braves for their playoff push. And a 3-pitch mix, fastball, slider, change.
So he's had 4 hitless appearances with the Tigers so far. Originally a 30th round pick by the Yankees in 2011 out of Elon University. He's 34 years old. Two nothing Yankees. And Ascara will lead off. And a strike. He was released after 3 seasons in the Yankees farm system. And the highest level he ever reached was High A Tampa. Ended up in indie ball, but worked his way back to professional baseball. Organized. That one's popped up. And Dingler can't make the play. Had it in his glove and dropped it. Moving close to the wall, maybe took his eye off it, John.
Yeah, you're taught as a catcher, try to get to the wall as quickly as possible and stay away from drifting. See, Dingler kind of goes for the backhand, can't come up with a clean. Had a little more room than he thought.
Problem with the PitchCom system. Looks more so with what's in his ear, the catcher's ear. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. I think Bill Freehand had some of these problems as well.
Lance Parrish?
Yep, yep. It's like they'll get him a new receiver, not catcher, but receiver in his helmet. Why does the catcher have to hear what he's calling? Right? Just to make sure he didn't hit the wrong button?
That's what I would assume, but let's just go a little old school here. 1's a fastball, 3's a slider, Wiggles a changeup, and guy in second base, sign after 2, let's go.
That might be what Brevy is saying. How about this little quirk about Brevy? You'll love this, John. He shaves on the morning of the team's photo day at spring training. Then he does not shave again until after the season, growing a huge beard.
So he likes to look clean shaven for the team photo.
Yep. And the picture that will be used
in the media guide.
Yep. And then he lets it grow. Well, Dingler's still having problems with this.
He's definitely not in a hurry. I've noticed that over these 3 days. Takes his time getting back there.
So 1-2 on Ascara. Another pop-up. And he dropped it again.
There's no way.
Almost the exact spot. Nothing's going right for Dingler.
It's impossible to hit a pop-up in the same spot, back-to-back pitches, and the same thing happened. Did he come up with a clean there?
No, it hit against the net, netting? I think, yeah.
Guaranteed hit right here. You're a catcher and you just boot 2 pop-ups. You're thinking there's no way this guy's not getting a hit here on the next pitch or 2. And they are going old school, using the fingers for signs.
And he gets clipped, so Escara will take first base. Well, it's the old story. Ali Reynolds on the mound. He has a no-hitter. And Ted Williams at the plate, and he hits a pop-up. And Yogi dropped the pop-up. The very next pitch, the same pop-up, same spot, and Yogi made the catch. I would assume that's a catcher nightmare, right?
Well, I mean, that pop-up, they're both like not that high where you're moving over, so you don't kind of have those thoughts in your head like, okay, this is so easy, don't drop it. But to go back-to-back pitches in the same spot, 2 pop-ups in a row.
And he gets hit with the pitch. He showed bunt, got hit with the pitch. So first and second, nobody out for the Yankees on 2 hit batters. Cabrera on for the 3rd time today. Well, let's take a look at the Spectrum exit velocity on the Ben Rice home run.
Yeah, biggest swing of the bat, 108.1 off the bat in the 7th inning. That's been a common theme all year from spring training now at the beginning of the season. Ben Rice hitting the ball a whole lot harder than he did last year.
Reyes pinch running for Escara at second base. Yankees trying to get some insurance run for their bullpen.
Surprised at that, a 2-0 lead. Escara has caught 8 shutout innings. That's a pitch ran for.
Ben Rice takes outside 1-0. So Ben Rice's home run broke a scoreless tie. Also the Yankees' first home run in 4 games. Two and 0. Rice has certainly done everything you could have possibly wanted with him filling in for the injured Stanton. 2-1. Rice has something in his eye. And a strike. 2-2. Brebbia, the 4th pitcher used by the Tigers. Flaherty started, pitched great. Then Holton, who ended up giving the home run to Rice, Will Vest, and now Brebbia. Three and two. Hit sharply to second, and it's booted by Keith. And the bases are loaded. Defense is not his forte, and he has had a rough series.
Yeah, we've seen that in this series. He can swing the bat, but defensively he's struggling at second base, and this should be a double play every day at the big league level. He just boots it. Yankees catch a break.
So here's Judge. Brebbia is probably thinking to himself, how did I get here? Popped up on the right side. Torkelson runs out of room. The arm's not long enough. With the bases loaded, Judge 329 with 9 grand slams. And the 0-2. Base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Cabrera. He'll score. It's a 2-run single for Judge. And the Yankees have doubled their lead. It's 4-0.
Well, some defensive miscues by the Tiger catcher and second baseman led to an opportunity for Aaron Judge. Bases loaded, fastball up, and he just gets on top of it again. And drills it right back up the middle. Base hit, couple RBIs. Yankees adding on.
20 RBIs for Judge. One 1-0 to Bellinger. He's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. First and second, still nobody out here in the ninth. Three 3-0. So he had not given up a run in 4 appearances, and he is unraveled here in the ninth. Let's see if they green light Bellinger. There's ball 4, and the bases are loaded again. And Fetter goes out to talk with Brebbia. So let's go over how this happened. Escara pops up to the third base side of home plate. Dingler drops it. Does it again, same spot. Dingler drops it. Then he gets hit by a pitch. Then Cabrera gets hit by a pitch. Then Ben Rice hits into what should be a 4-6-3 double play. Booted by Keith. Bases loaded. They bring the infield in. Judge with a hard single up the middle. And it's 4-0 Yankees, and they're looking for more. And here is Paul Goldschmidt. He's 2 for 4. Single and a double. He's 7 for 12 in this series. Got to be nice to look up at the board and see you're hitting 391.
Goldschmidt has been leading off against lefties, but a chance today to clean up, and Aaron Boone hoping he would get an opportunity to drive in some runs. Well, here it is. 391 batting average, bases loaded, nobody out.
Infield in again. You know, Aaron Boone was asked today, are you surprised he's gotten off to this start? And he said, no, I spoke to him after we signed him, and he was in a good place. He felt that he had found something at the end of the season, and he was not going to get off to the start that he got off to last year. He thought there was a lot of baseball in there. 1-2. Back to Brebbia. There's 1. And there's 2. A 1-2-3 double play. 2 down. So Judge moves to third, Bellinger moves to second. And that brings up Chisholm. Big cut. 0-1. 4-0 Yankees. We're in the ninth.
28th pitch coming for Brebbia, and he loves his slider, throwing it an awful lot here in the ninth inning. There it is again. Well, when you're struggling like Jazz Chisholm is, you're behind in the count, it seems like, right away. Quickly behind here, 0-2.
Judge well off at third base. With McKinstry way off the line, Judge is almost a third of the way toward home plate. Trying to catch Brebbia's eye. Maybe goad him into a balk. Ball gets away, but Judge stays put. Two runs in, 2 runners on. 2-2 count. And down goes Chisholm to end the inning. But the Yankees get 2 on just 1 hit, 1 big error. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Now it's time for the player of the game, presented by Snickers.
Well, your Snickers player of the game, Max Fried, ace of the Yankees staff. He stepped up this afternoon, 7 shutout innings. He struck out 11. He did not walk a batter. He is your Snickers player of the game.
7 innings, 5 hits. Did not walk a batter, as John said, 11 strikeouts. He threw 97 pitches, came up big when the Yankees needed him most. Trying to go 3-3 on this road trip, taking 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh. They lost the first 2 here against Detroit. A win here would be big. 3 games for Devin Williams so far. This is not a save situation. He has not pitched in this series. Tomorrow's an off day, so they bring him in with a 4-0 lead. Here's Torkelson. And a strike. Austin Wells behind the plate. Remember, they pinch ran for Escara. There's the fastball. A change and a fastball. 0-2 on Torkelson, who calls time.
Devin Williams recorded his first loss of the season on Sunday at Pittsburgh. A walk-off single to Tommy Pham in the 11th. Remember that at bat to Tommy Pham. It was changeup after changeup after changeup, and finally he put a good swing on it.
Goes with the fastball there, 1-2. Just got a piece of the airbender, 1-2.
Well, there are a few things that make a changeup effective. One of them is arm speed from a starting pitcher, and Devin Williams has that. Really sells that pitch, and it's also lack of velocity from the fastball, about 10 to 11 miles an hour different.
Two and two on the Tiger first baseman. 3-2. And the payoff. Just got a piece to stay alive on the change.
It shows you the confidence that Williams has with that changeup. A 4-run lead, leadoff hitter, a 3-2 count. Trusting that he can throw that changeup for a strike.
Laced to left field, foul ball. Tigers looking for base runners. And the 3-2. And he walked him. Walked the leadoff batter with a 4-0 lead. And here's Dylan Dingler. He doubled in the 7th against Fried. Struck out the other 2 times. Up and away, 1-0. Now, we haven't seen enough of Williams to know if he's one of those closers who does not get locked in a non-save situation. And there's a strike. But some of those guys do exist, John.
Well, there definitely are closers who need that adrenaline, that juice of a save situation. But in this situation for Williams, coming off that walk-off, hasn't pitched in the series, a day off tomorrow. You want to get some good quality work in.
2-1.
You're a Yankee club that's lost 3 in a row. You want to close this one out. Get on that flight back to New York, enjoy the off day, and look forward to the San Francisco Giants coming in.
2-2 on Dingler. 4-7-0 for the Yanks, 0-6-1 for the Tigers. Boy, those 2 runs in the top of the 9th loom very large right now. Swing and a miss, got him with the fastball. 1 away.
See where Wells wants the fastball. It's just off the plate away and has enough hop at 93 miles an hour to get the swing and a miss.
Keith swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. Keith 0 for 3. And the pitch. Strike. Using his fastball a lot more today. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Keith down on strikes. Yankees are an out away.
Back-to-back strikeouts, back-to-back fastballs to get the strikeout. This one misses by a whole plate, though. Williams yanking it inside.
Here's Javier Baez. Last chance for the Tigers. Baez has struck out 3 times today. Runner at first. Goldschmidt plays behind him. 1-0. Torkelson goes. He'll take second on defensive indifference. Count 2-0 on Baez. There's a base hit to right field. Judge charges, comes up, and Torkelson will hold it third. A base hit for Baez. Tigers still alive.
Well, Baez extends the inning by getting a fastball out over the plate, shooting in the hole between first and second, and the Tigers just trying to create some traffic here, put themselves in a position where one swing of the bat can tie it up.
And a conference on the mound as Trace Sweeney will come up as a pinch hitter for Kreidler. Now the Yankees certainly had an option of keeping Weaver in there to get the final 3 outs. It would have been saved for him because when he came in it was 2-0. They're not really concerned about that. And tomorrow's the day off, so he could have been reset. But also they know that Devin Williams needs to pitch to get as sharp as he can, so they bring in Williams in a non-save situation. So first and third, 2 outs, and here's Sweeney against Devin Williams. Runner goes from first. There's a strike, no throw. So Baez takes second on defensive indifference. The 0-1. Great changeup, 0-2. And the pitch. 1-2. One-two pitch. 2-2.
You can see Sweeney a couple of better takes after that swing and a miss. McKinstry, a very dangerous hitter, waiting on deck.
Foul back to the screen as Sweeney stays alive. Torkelson's at third, Baez at second. 2 men out, 2-2 count. Bottom of the 9th inning, Yankees up 4-0. Just missed outside, a pitch away from bringing McKinstry up as a tying run.
Well, if you're Williams, you're Wells behind the plate, whatever it is, fastball or a changeup, you have to make sure it is in the strike zone. The last thing you want to do is walk the bases loaded.
Just got a piece of the change. .28 pitches for Williams. And here's the payoff. He walked him. The bases are loaded. McKinstry comes up as the tying run.
I'm sure Matt Blake, the pitching coach, going to come out and just give Williams a little bit of a time here, a little bit of a break. 29 pitches already, and I talked about McKinstry. He's hit the ball hard. He's got some pop.
That's what he did yesterday, John.
Cookie Carrasco gives him a pitch up in the zone, and no doubt about it, drilling it to right center field. So things have gotten quite interesting here in the 9th inning.
That could be a walk to the mound to give him a little bit of a breather as well.
30th pitch on the way, so what went from an inning of maybe getting some work has become a little bit more stressful for Devin Williams.
You saw Hill is up for the Yankees in their bullpen if it gets to Carpenter. And a strike. They went with the fastball. 0-1. Bases loaded with Tigers, bottom of the 9th inning. And that one gets away from Wells. Torkelson scores. Baez moves to third. The ball goes into the dugout, so Baez will score. And moving to third is Sweeney. No, they're going to send Baez back, and Sweeney will go back to second.
It's a changeup, yanked middle down, the toughest play for a catcher to block, because you just don't know where a pitcher's going to make his mistake with the changeup. It ends up in the Tiger dugout.
So that only allows Baez to advance 1, not 2. Two and one. There's a base hit to right field. Baez scores. Here comes Sweeney. Here's the throw. He'll score. Going to second with the tying run is McKinstry, and it is 4-3. Yankees lead.
McKinstry gives you a tough at bat day in and day out. Aaron Boone going to be forced to make a decision here. Go to his bullpen. Fastball up and in. Gets jammed, but is strong enough to muscle it in to right field. Thought Aaron Judge maybe had a play at the plate here to throw up the line.
So Devin Williams will give the ball to Aaron Boone. The tying run is at second base, 4-3. Yankees trying to hold on. All right, lots to unpack on that last play. So it's a base hit to right field. The third run, John, means nothing. The most important run is the base hit, not getting to second base. Judge thought he had an out at home plate, but what went wrong there?
Yeah, I think Aaron Judge thought if he makes an accurate throw, he's going to get the runner at home plate. The biggest mistake that Aaron made is you got to make sure you hit the cutoff man with this throw. It's high, out of the reach of Goldschmidt. It's up the line, and that allows McKinstry to get himself into scoring position. I originally thought he had a play at the plate. It just is the mistake he made is airmailing Goldschmidt, not having him have the ability to cut it off.
So it has come to this. Mark Leiter Jr. comes on. He will face Justin Henry Malloy. McKinstry at second base with the tying run. 1-0. Yankees clinging to a one-run lead. Popped up. Shallow center. Chisholm makes the play, and the Yankees hold on. Mark Leiter comes on to get a big out, nail it down, and the Yankees break their losing streak. They go 3-3 on the road trip, and they win this one 4-3. But the big story, John, I know it got hairy in the ninth inning, was the way Max Fried pitched today.
Max Fried was the star of the game for the New York Yankees. When they needed a pitcher to step up, he did it with his 7 shutout innings, 11 strikeouts. Devin Williams not on top of his game, but you give Leiter credit for coming in there, getting that last out. And the Yankees can salvage this road trip, 500 on the road trip. You get the last game of the series, and you look forward to tomorrow's off day and the Giants coming in.
All right, so a big performance by Fried, but it would have gone for naught if it wasn't for Ben Rice and that big home run.
Ben Rice continues to get at-bats after at-bats, and he keeps producing. In the 7th inning, we thought this ball game might be determined by one swing of the bat. A 2-run home run to right center field for Ben Rice, and you can see the emotion. His 3rd of the year, a big swing of the bat for the Yankees and for Ben Rice.
So far this year, 306, 3 home runs, 4 ribbies. The OPS was 1.086. In spring training, he looked like a guy where the ball was jumping off his bat, high exit velocity. The Yankees loved what they were seeing, and he has come through, filling in for Giancarlo Stanton, even against left-handed pitching, which has been a benefit as well. So the Yankees win a much-needed game. They do not get swept here in Detroit. They salvage the final game of this 3-game set. So it's Fried and it's Rice, and Meredith Marakovitz has Ben Rice down on the field right now.
Thanks, Michael. Ben, lefty-on-lefty matchup there in the 7th between you and Holton. Take me through that at-bat. How are you able to get the best of him?
Yeah, just simplify the approach, just trying to, get something in my zone and put a good swing on it.
John Flaherty was talking about how your stance looks a little bit more open this year. What went into that decision to open up the stance a little bit, and how has that benefited you here early on?
Yeah, just messing around with some things. Felt like it gave me a little bit more of an ability to see the baseball, and it's helping me out.
How good do you feel at the plate right now?
Feel good. And with that being said, we just got to continue to stay in the present, and now we move on to San Francisco.
Max Fried carved up that Tigers lineup, 11 strikeouts over 7 innings. What impressed you the most about his performance?
I mean, honestly, just the way he was so resilient throughout the outing, knowing that we weren't giving him a lot of run support as the game progressed, and just the way that he kept us in it the whole way and gave us a chance there in the later innings to do some damage was huge for us.
Ben, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Send it back up to you, Michael.
Well, thank you, Ben, and thank you, Meredith. So Fried, Rice, a delectable combination as the Yankees win 4-3, 4-7-0 for the Yankees, 3-8-1 for the Tigers. It took 2 hours and 48 minutes. Fried goes 2-0. Leiter gets the save. Holton the loss. Fried went 7, struck out 11. Flaherty 5 1/3, 3 hits, and 9 strikeouts. And Ben Rice with that 2-run home run in the 7th. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnack. Don't forget to join us again on Wednesday, April 16th, as the Yankees take on the Royals from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Coverage will begin at 6:30 on Prime, with first pitch coming just after 7. For more coverage of tonight's game, tune in to the YES Network for the WB Mason post-game show. Once again, the final score, it's the Yankees 4 and the Tigers 3. For John Flaherty and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael Kay, saying see ya from Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Big win for the Yankees. Have a good one, everybody. So long.